Day before yesterday, there was a major airstrike. Over 50 killed on a mosque, and Al Ahli was completely inundated with wounded. And we were operating all through the night. And by the early hours of yesterday morning, we had realized that we have basically run out of medication for the anesthetic machines, and we had to stop the operating room. We had finished. And that's when we made the decision. At the same time, in the early hours of the morning, there was heavy bombing all around the hospital, and really close to the hospital. You could feel the whole building being shook. And we were and it sounded like tank fire. It didn't sound like air raid. And so we made the decision that it was time for at least the operating room staff, since they were not going to be able to provide a service, to evacuate. And so yesterday morning we left, and you could hear the sounds of the tanks around the hospital when we walked out. And we literally walked all the way to Nusayrat camp in the central zone. We asked people along the way which are the side roads that there were no tanks. And all along the way, it was really a kind of scenes of destruction, and there were bodies on the floor, on the streets, and it took us 5 hours to reach Nusayrat. We left, there were over 500 wounded needing urgent medical care, but needing surgical intervention that we could not provide because we'd run out of medication. The operating room could no longer function. No, the patients are still there. We tried to send some of them to Indonesian hospital. But the Indonesian hospital later on that evening was also declared that it was no longer able to provide a service. And basically the whole of northern Gaza now has no functioning hospital. It's been a living nightmare, leaving 500 wounded, knowing that there's nothing left for you to be able to do for them. It's just the most heartbreaking thing I've ever had to do.